Mass, M-A-S-S, graves. Mass graves, G-R-A-V-E-S. That's where you put dead people. Google those two words and come up to the first picture, which is a YouTube. There you're going to see your hard-earned tax dollars, people, that paid for mass graves. And you'll see them. Thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of graves outside of the cities. Ready to go at a moment's notice. And then you can put the word population control with mass graves and wonder, what is going on? So we're getting ready to line up like sheep for our vaccinations this year. And you know, the vaccinations were man-made. You can do some research on that as well. There's mercury in the vaccinations, you know that. But there's also squalene. It's an adjuvant that they use in the H1N1 vaccination. That they've done tests on lab rats, and the lab rats drag their bodies around the cages after they inject them with the squalene because their hindquarters have gone completely paralyzed. So before you line up like sheep and herd into getting your vaccinations this year, please do some research on that. I'm not telling you not to get your vaccinations. I'm telling you to do some research on that. I'm very concerned about the vaccinations that they are telling us that our children over 6 months are mandated vaccinations, and pregnant women mandated vaccinations. By the way, the healthcare bill, section 1711, page 764, states the government will require preventable services, including vaccinations. They will require vaccinations whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter what's in the vaccination. That means if you don't get a vaccination, you can be quarantined. And then you can look up the FEMA concentration camps that are ready to go as well online. They're there. So, what have I left out? I've got some notes that really probably don't. I've talked about some other things, but you know, if you're really, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but if you're really that excited about having the government run our health care, it's already been stated. The post office, bankrupt. DMV, who wants to go to the DMV? Look at that place. It's a joke. Does anybody enjoy going there? Medicare. Now let me explain a little bit on Medicare here. Some of you like your Medicare services. Talk to your doctors. Because you don't deal directly with Medicare typically. Your doctors do. Your doctors have to staff their offices big time to deal with the Medicare bureaucracy and red tape. That is part of the reason why your services are so doggone expensive. Trust me. We have to deal with these people in D.C. with the Medicare. And you know, I'm really happy that we have such a service to take care of our seniors. We need to have something like that. But do we need it to carry all the illegal aliens? Which they're saying there's 12 million illegal aliens? Yeah. That's a gross, disgusting underestimate of the illegal aliens here in the United States. Those of us in North Carolina know that. There's probably about 12 million in North Carolina alone before you get to California. Fannie and Freddie, we know they're bankrupt, right? We bailed them out. How many more times are we going to have to bail them out? It's coming. Fannie is coming, you know, with the insurance. And then I left out Social Security. Most of you don't have to worry about Social Security in this room because you're getting your paychecks right now. But for the younger people in the crowd, do you really think that Social Security is going to exist? Look at Social Security and Medicare are both Ponzi scams. Like what Madoff had. If you don't realize that, do research on how these things are created. They're Ponzi scams. And a Ponzi just doesn't last forever. So, you know, we have bank control, we have auto industry control, they control our energy, they now are going to control our health care. Do we really think that we can prevent them from doing this? I hope so. I really hope so. Because there are alternative means to healthcare. This is not about healthcare, people. This is about a power grab, and that's it. Yes. This is a power grab. It's about control. So they're trying to hide the fact that it's all about healthcare. They're trying to get us all upset and anxious and worried. And if you get the bill and print it up, and you look at all the different lines on the bill, yeah, there's stuff in there about healthcare. Do you think that's what Congress really cares about? They want power. They want your bank accounts. I don't want that. Do you? No. Then people that are not, this from on this bill. Unless you're a congressman and you want all this power and control, what is our population thinking about? I've got one last story to end, and then I'll stop flapping my trap. I'm pretty excited about this. I had a patient on the table about a week and a half ago, and this gentleman is in dire need of a knee transplant. He needs to have his knee replaced. Unfortunate for him. I feel bad for him. My dad just had his knee replaced. He's all about this Obama thing. You know, we need health care for all these, you know, people who can't afford their health care. I'm personally one who believes that health care is not a right, okay? It's not in our constitutional rights. It's not a right, okay? That's part of what's gotten us into this situation in the first place. Yes, we need health care, but there's a fair exchange system that needs to happen within health care. Do you not agree? Fair exchange?
Yes.
And fair. Doctors, yes, we need to keep our prices under control and modify our prices. Insurance has become a major issue within that. See, insurance covers more and more and more and more, so the doctors raise their fee. That's how this whole thing happens. Insurance company covers more for this surgery, so the doctor raises his fee. Why? Because he can. Now the patient is not able to pay for that out of pocket, so we become dependent. And that's part of the system. They want us to become dependent. Then they snag the rug out from under us, and we're all needing to have government health care now at this point. So I'm not going to get into my solution, but I am going to tell you we do need to modify our prices. The patient was laying on the table. He said, I need to have a knee replacement. I said, we need to have an MRI before we go to do that. And then we'll get you into an orthopedic surgeon to have that done. I also mentioned to him, you know, he said, yeah, you know, we need to have this healthcare thing go through. So, you know, Obama this, Obama that. I don't like to talk about Obama in my office at all. Because I don't have a lot of good to say. And if you don't have good to say, then don't say it at all. But anyhow, I did mention to him, I said, you know, if this healthcare thing does go through, do you know how long you're going to have to wait to have that MRI that you're going to have done in a day or two here, right now? You're going to have to wait about 256 days? I think that's about right.
Yeah.
That's for a knee replacement. For a hip replacement, I think it's a couple days shy of a year that you'll have to wait. And, you know, I kind of felt like saying, good luck on your knee replacement. I'm compassionate, though. But you understand what I'm getting at. This gentleman wants Obama's thing to go through, but yet he's got to have a knee replacement. Do you know how long it's going to take him to get that? So I'll end with that. You know, please do a little bit of research. Get online. Look at your sources. And study up on this thing, because it's not just about healthcare reform, that's for sure. We have a great healthcare system right here in the United States as it stands right now. Does anybody in this room, are you complaining about your healthcare right now? Are we complaining about our healthcare? No, we're not. We're complaining about the costs and the bureaucracy that's related in the healthcare that's got a lot more to do with insurance than it does the care. Well, guess what? That rug's going to be pulled out from under us, and we are going to be complaining about our health care, because I told you I'm a doctor. I'm not going to practice in the system. I won't do it. I'm not going to work for the government.